What's going on, guys? Rob of 3STRONG. Today I want to talk about breathing. Well, breathing is obviously a natural thing, but when our bodies are under stress, we react in different ways. And there are different types of stress that we can subject our bodies to, and each of those different stresses requires a different type of breathing. For example, if I'm going to lift a really heavy weight, I'm not going to breathe a bunch through it and try to relax and treat it like it's a marathon. I'm going to brace and squeeze nice and tight, lift that thing up, get it back down, and then take that breath. When on the other end of the spectrum, the endurance side, we need to keep a relaxed style of breathing because we need to just last. We need the consistency. We need to maintain that work effort. On one end of the spectrum, you have something like a strength set where you're producing a lot of force and you need to be as rigid and as tight as possible. On the other end, you need to last as long as possible. So you need slower, relaxed, consistent breathing to get as much oxygen in your system as possible. In this video right here, I'm going to show you the strength end of the spectrum. These are your heavier sets. These are your more grinding sets, and show you how to utilize your breath effectively to get the most out of that type of set. All right, so this green kettlebell right here is a 50-pounder. This blue one's a 25-pounder. So I will show you with this green sucker right here. In the next video, I'm going to go over the endurance sets and show you the breathing with the lighter kettlebell. So this tension that we need. So if I'm bracing, I'm essentially taking in a breath, I'm squeezing nice and tight, and what that does is it gets all the muscles around our torso tight, and it increases what's called intra-abdominal pressure. And that pressure helps to stabilize our spine. Once we've created this solid unit, now we protect our backs and we can let the legs or arms or whatever it is, whatever the working muscles, we can let them produce the force against whatever weight we're lifting. In this case, I'm going to show you I'm going to show you a kettlebell swing, deadlift, and overhead press, and I'll show you this breathing. Since this is a heavier kettlebell, we're going to need a more aggressive style of breathing. We need to create that tension to protect ourselves. Got to hike those pants up, don't want those suckers falling down. Or else people will be hyperventilating as they're laughing. Okay, so this one, we need a lot of tension, so I want you just to listen to my breathing. So notice how I focused on that breath out, but then reflexively, I took that breath in and I held that. I kept the tension, and notice how those reps are very quick. So when I say holding my breath, it's literally a split second, enough to get that tension. So I take that breath in, I squeeze my abs nice and tight, I allow that kettlebell to come down, still keeping rigid and tight, and then once I drive up, I let that breath out. So as that kettlebell gets driven up and really becomes weightless, I'm not really carrying any weight, so that's when I can relax and take that breath. But then, in that split second, I'm taking that quick breath in, staying tight, and I can go through those sets and handle a very heavy weight. If I was to breathe out on the way down, that weight is now going to pull me into this bad position because I've relaxed, I've let everything out, I've released the pressure. If I'm going to do a deadlift, let's pretend I have a barbell. If I get set up for a deadlift, I want to breathe, suck it in nice and tight, squeeze my abs, get my back locked in, lift up, stay tight, breathe out at the bottom. Like I said, holding your breath isn't bad. It's not, you're not doing eye bulging sets, your nose isn't going to start to bleed, Your ears aren't going to pop, nothing like that. So you're just keeping everything tight. Once you do that lift, stay tight. Once you get down to the ground, then you can breathe. You're literally only holding your breath for 1 to 2 seconds at the most. Take that breath and then you're on to the next set. Let me show you overhead press. Same thing. You want to stay nice and tight, and granted you can use a barbell, dumbbell, you don't have to use a kettlebell. These things are just nice and colorful and pretty, and I like them. So, tight. Breathe out of the bottom. Even with this one, since there is a relaxation point, you can breathe out at the top if you want, but then so as I'm moving that weight, tight, 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 I have the ability, since I can lock out, breathe, relax slightly, still don't just, arch the back and, do that. Bring it down under tension. So with every movement, I'm creating that pressure so I can produce as much force as possible and keep my back nice and safe. Okay, next video, let's talk about endurance breathing. See you next time.